Welcome to a scenario where the Ottoman Empire came back into the modern day. So the Ottoman Empire was technically Turkey's giant empire that was so big. It was the Muslim version of the Roman Empire. From the map I got, the Ottoman Empire didn't have this area. So yeah, Greece still exists in this and this. So I forgot to add Cyprus. So let's start the scenario. So the Ottoman Empire in its return shattered a lot of countries. Jordan, Syria, which Jordan has an exclave. This country and Saudi Arabia barely has a coastline. This is its only coastline, so yeah, the Ottoman did a lot in its return. So this is a war scenario, so the Ottoman Empire is obviously gonna go to war. So the first countries that the Ottoman Empire is gonna go to war with is a few not that major countries. First is Jordan, which is the smallest, which is the country other than Syria that got ruined by this, as the Ottoman Empire captures its exclave and captures this part of Jordan as Jordan fully collapses. So let's look at this peace treaty. Well, now the Ottoman Empire has Jordan under its rule. The next country it will be going for will be Syria and Iraq. I think this country is called. I always confuse Iran and Iraq. So they will declare war on both nations, as both nations has been greatly damaged by the Ottoman Empire's return, as they capture Syria and start moving into Iraq, as Iraq fully gets occupied. So let's look at this peace treaty. This is the new border of the Ottoman Empire. It has all of Iraq. I'm actually surprised that the Ottoman Empire doesn't have any land in Iran, as it could have even had this small amount. It perfectly goes by the border here. So the next country that the Ottoman Empire will be attacking is the small remains of their arch nemesis, of Turkey's arch. As I was saying, they're gonna go for the Greek. The Greek remains, as this is their Turkey's arch nemesis, as they call Turkey calls itself Byzantine, Greece calls itself Byzantine, as they fully captured Sparta and Crete. Turkey, or the Ottoman Empire, is gonna blast through Sparta and this island, Crete I think it's called, as the peace treaty is utterly simple. As the peace treaty is for annexation of this small part of land. So now Saudi Arabia is literally diminished, as Mecca and that other holy city here is taken away, and they barely have any coastline here. So what I'm hinting at is that the Ottoman Empire declares war on Egypt. Yeah, so the Ottoman Empire declares war on the remainder of Egypt, as Ottoman troops start moving this deserty land. I think there's still Nile land here, as the Ottoman Empire fully captures this part of Egypt. So let's look at this peace treaty. As this is the peace treaty, but as you can see, Egypt is still alive, but it's alive at a cost, as it becomes a Ottoman puppet state, and they have a small hold over land in the area, as the Ottoman Empire has small Sudan land here. As finally the Ottoman Empire ends up declaring war on Saudi Arabia, one of the nations that they have really made poor because of this, as the Ottomans start moving from the north, and as they start getting closer. I don't know where Saudi Arabia's capital, so after they capture half of Saudi Arabia, the rest ends up surrendering to the Ottoman Empire. So let's look at this peace treaty once again. The Ottoman Empire creates another puppet state as they take more land out of Saudi Arabia, and to screw them over even more, I forgot to add this in the peace treaty. Ottoman Empire takes this small coastline that they got, so that's utterly horrible for the Saudis, as this was their only source of trade into the country. But since the Ottoman Empire made them into a puppet state, the Ottoman Empire has to send trade, has to give Saudi Arabia a few bits of its things that it got. So now let's go back to Europe, as the Ottoman Empire is done. It could go for Tunisia and Libya, but these two countries end up deciding to unite, as they know they're actually cooked. And a large alliance is created against the Ottoman Empire, a coalition, including Romania, which the Ottoman Empire has a few coasts out of that it owns that I forgot to give them, which is Romania, Serbia, this country, I think this is, Croatia, and Libya, Algeria, and Morocco, and Yemen, and these other nations also. Iran joins this to Eastern Persia, but the Ottoman Empire does gain a few allies, which is Azerbaijan, and the strongest country on earth, Russia, becomes an Ottoman ally. Right after this, we see Serbia end up switching sides, as the big daddy Russia ends up joining the Ottoman side. So now a large war will be declared by the Ottomans on this whole alliance, just after, to show the alliance that they are boss. Since they declare war on Yemen, the whole alliance is forced to enter this war. This is a large war that the Ottomans will have to fight, but with troops pouring in from Russia, Azerbaijan, and these other nations, this won't be, as since this is a large war, we have to give the Ottomans its own layer so that it can be beat. As fighting starts in Yemen from the Saudi puppets, as the Ottoman has no troops here, as they are not fighting, as the Saudi puppet is giving a large fight, as they already captured this area. The Egyptian puppet, being one of the most weakest puppet in the world, manages to fight this nation, as the Ottomans are focusing on the European parts, as they capture half of Croatia and start moving into Romania. and also they start moving with their allies' help into Afghanistan. As this is not all sunshine and rainbows for the Ottomans, as Afghanistan starts pushing back, and these also pushes back as they push so far that they manage to as they manage to start the Egyptian front, which is the one that manages to start a counter front into Egypt. As they fully capture Egypt, the Ottomans are surprised as this African front is the one that's doing well. As after this, we see this Iraqi land gets fully captured, as Romania fully surrenders to the Ottomans. So the European front is fully captured, as now they move all the troops back down here to Iraq as their main focus. As after all these troops from down here, Russia, Romania start moving in, you see Iraq is starting to collapse as they be cut in two, and the Ottomans are actually doing well as they now fully capture Iraq, the leader of this alliance. As after all these troops come back, some of them are dead. This whole front line is collapsed, and the Ottomans fully liberate their large ally in, as they also start an invasion back into these nations, cutting off transfer into these two nations as they start moving in both nations. As Libya fully surrenders and Sudan ends up fully surrendering, as the whole alliance ends up surrendering. So let's look at this ginormous peace treaty. As this is the peace treaty, the Ottoman Empire has grown real far as they extend their Egyptian puppet state and create 3 new puppet states, actually 4, as Morocco is left out of the hook and Romania and Croatia is divided between Serbia and the Ottoman Empire, as Azerbaijan gets these small parts of Iraq, and Russia gains nothing out of this, but the Ottoman Empire ends up promising military help to their war on Ukraine. Large military help, like millions of troops on the Ukrainian border, as Russia is now moving more in Ukraine, but I can't show that because this is the end of this video. So thank you for watching, and good